Welcome back to part 2 of trying to find out, is Carbonation TV for the culture or is it a destructive community? So in part 2, we're gonna get into NatureBoy. What is his background like? How did he become this successful mainstream YouTuber able to capitalize off of living his true higher self? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let's just go ahead and get into Elijah Bishop. Now, Elijah Bishop, I'm gonna get mainly most of my information from CARBONNATION TV's YouTube page, also World News 11.2. Now, just a synopsis of NatureBoy, and then I'm gonna really go into detail about him. NatureBoy is a person who has been able to achieve success by giving knowledge to honestly younger millennials. He's been able to capture the world. Most of his teachings, however, is nothing brand new. You can look it up on the internet. Plenty of people have been teaching this holistic lifestyle for millions of years. I mean, if you go back to Dr. Sebi, he was teaching this holistic lifestyle. Marcus Garvey, getting back to honestly nature, getting back to the true essence of African American people, getting back to Africa. People have constantly been teaching this notion. However, NatureBoy has been able to capture the YouTube world because he has kind of a past that's not too so, NatureBoy, his true name is Elijah Bishop, and he is adopted. He comes from an adopted family. He is also from New York, but he moved a lot due to him being adopted, resided in New Jersey a little bit. Allegedly, he was in a mental institution from being diagnosed with ADD. He claims that he was raised around drugs. However, his brother, in a YouTube interview, confessed that he was raised in the church and not around drugs at all. He did serve in the military, however, he was granted a dishonorable discharge. He never went to prison, however, he went to jail and juvenile detention centers multiple times. Now, according to NatureBoy, this is his synopsis of how his life grew up, because most people were exposing him at the time. So whatever he was trying to say, well, he wasn't really saying anything about his past. So people were trying to tell his story. So eventually he went out on CARBONNATION TV. You can look at it and I'll link it down below, where he goes into great detail about how he perceives his childhood to be.
Since people want to talk about my life and talk about, like, you know, you want to listen to my life story from a young pharaoh, a young dumb nigga that don't know nothing, from people that I fell out with. You want to get the gist of who I am, from how I fell out with someone. If you listen, you ain't getting to know anybody from that alone. Absolutely not. So what I'm going to do in this video right here, and I'm going to tell my life story from the beginning to now.
And then I'm gonna discuss what his brother says the opposite. And who do I believe, him or his brother? Let's get into it. All right, so NatureBoy was born April 29th, 1982. Oh, so with that being said, if we wanna go into zodiacs, he is a Taurus. So you know Taurus, they are the manly man, the family man. They are the leader of the pack. That goes pretty good with NatureBoy, I would say. He claims that his father was in his 70s, whereas his mother was only 30 years old. He also says that his father resembled and kind of looked like Dr. Sebi in a way. But he was born in New York, and his mom was on drugs heavily bad, and he was born a crack baby in Harlem, New York. He claims at 1 year old, they dropped him off because they did not want anything to have to do with him, and that he was a drug baby. And essentially, they died thereafter. So then he was placed into a foster care in the Bronx, where he was in foster care. And this is where he was first introduced to sexuality in an inhumane way. At just a little kid, he was taken advantage of physically, if you know where I'm going, by this man. And this kind of ignited ignited his hypersexuality as a child. He became very overtly sexual at that point.
Well, let me tell you about one of the experiences I had when I was split up by my brother when I was about 6 years old. In Queens, I could remember a guy named Mr. Pope. I remember forget Mr. Pope. But I was always when I say I was a horny child, like I was humping on things, and I had sexual urges very young in age. I've had sexual urges. I was humping on like anything I could find. Like I remember looking at The Simpsons and getting horny over The Simpsons. Like I was horny over Marge and shit, and I was looking at Lisa and shit like that. And I would hump on things, whether it was another kid. It didn't matter if it was a boy or a girl. And I was staying in this family. This is when my sexuality started to kick in. Me and my brother got separated because we was like fighting each other all the time. Mr. Pope, the dude I got separated from my foster father, he caught me, and basically the dude just made me do sexual acts with another boy that I was already humping on anyway. He took a picture. He said, if you do anything, if you say anything about this, I'm pretty much going to tell the social worker.
And when he finally stood up and actually told on the man who was taking advantage of him sexually, he was moved to New Jersey and then adopted by the Bishops, essentially why his name is Elysian Bishop.
Bishops would adopt us, and would adopt us for the wrong reasons. So we got there, we thought it was all good. They was really nice to us. They took us to the farm. It was like, Jersey. It was Jersey, baby. It was South Jersey, from New York, South Jersey. It was like it was nature out there. We had bikes. We was loving it. Like, we was loving it. We didn't want to go back to New York. We went there for the weekend, and then we came. Me and my bro, we came back to New York on the weekdays to go to school. But we drove every weekend to go there to just test out how the transition would be. And we told them, well, we want to go back. They was treating us so nice. It was so beautiful there. We had a pear tree and an apple tree in our backyard. We was the only one on the block with a pear tree, apple tree. She had a garden. She told us how to garden and all that. It was beautiful, right? So then we got adopted. As soon as we got adopted, the shit changes. Like, they start treating us like different. Miss Bishop starts treating us like real fucking mean. The Bishop lady, she starts treating us real mean.
Now, before he was essentially adopted, he would go visit the Bishops with his brother, and they were very nice, putting on the act that they were very kind, very nice, very loving. Also, I want to make mention, his brother was light-skinned, NatureBoy is dark-skinned, so keep that in the back of your mind. So they were very nice at first to Elysian and his brother. However, once they were officially adopted, that's when the wheels turned. Now, his adoptive father, Father Bishop, that's what we'll call him, Father Bishop was nice throughout the way, but he was a very passive man. However, Mother Bishop totally changed. She totally flipped the script. She did a 180. I think that's what we're gonna say. She did a 180. She constantly abused Elysian. She did not treat him at all like he should have been treated. She didn't even treat him like he was human. Number one, Mama Bishop or Mother Bishop essentially just wanted money, capitalism. So she forced them to be on medication because we know kids who are claimed as EC or with certain medical problems, you get more money out of it. So she filed that they had mental disorders. They were forced to ride the short bus, and she was able to gain money off of these false allegations that they were considered EC. Now, his brother claims this never happened. They had a wonderful lifestyle. They were in church all the time, and that nothing happened to them. Going back to Mother Bishop, about her treating him so horrible, Elysian goes into detail, and honestly, when you see him going over how she mistreated him, it's amazing that he is still able to, talk about it because it seems traumatizing. She will pour Ajax over his body and try to scrub him to see if his skin, his skin was dirty because it was of a darker skin tone. So she would constantly scrub, and he would even start to think that he was actually dirty because he had darker skin. So scrubbing to see if his skin would get lighter by rubbing his skin with Ajax. She would also claim that he was a demon because the word Elysian means like demonic. And so she would constantly tell him this. And I think it just goes back to the components that Carbonation was talking about. What you reflect on the inner projects on the outer. And she was trying to taint his image. She was trying to break down his self-esteem, his inner confidence, that he actually started to believe that he was dirty, that he was demonic, that he was of no good.
So Miss Bishop was a Cancer, and she was diabetic, and every time her sugar got low, she would go into these episodes, throwing our clothes, just waking us up in the middle of the night, snapping. Like, this lady was crazy, yo. But the funny thing is, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she used to, like, basically abuse us. Like, so they took us out of regular school so they can get an SSI check. They put us on medication, Ritalin, so they can get an SSI check for us. Make us, like, sleep in a room with no lights. You feel me? She made us, like, there was no light in our room. You know what I mean? Like, it was no TV, nothing, darkness. She would always tell me, because I was dark-skinned, that I was dirty. Like she was like, you're dirty. Like, she used to put like Ajax all over me in a tub and make me scrub my skin. She's like, so for a minute, I thought I was a demon because she said my name meant Legion. She said, you're a demon. She used to tell me, this is what Maisha was talking about when she said that I thought that I was a demon. I told her that when I was a child because Miss Bishop told me I was a demon, that my name mean Legion, like it means a demon. So I was scared of my own self and my own reflection in the mirror because she told me I was a demon as a child. And she used to make me like wash my skin off. And I was thinking that my skin was dirt. In my head, psychologically, she told me this. She's like, you're dark skinned because you're dirty.
And that is no way you should treat a child, ever. I don't care who you are, what you believe in. And when you think about these community leaders, you notice I'm not saying the other word. When you think about these community leaders, it always goes back to their childhood. And it is awful that children have to endure things like this. And then they project that energy onto other people. He also goes on to say that he would release his energy in this hypersexual manner. He would even do acts of like bestiality with dogs just as a release mechanism as a child.
But when I was trying to figure out my sexuality, I was having sex with my foster cousin. You see what I'm saying? Like, she was older than me. Like, I think she a little older than me, but I used to let the dog lick my penis when I was a child. I had a lot of sexual energy, which I had later on realized that it was like creative energy, but I didn't have any kind of education about it. So, but it felt good and I did it. That's just how I was. Like, I didn't think about a boy or a girl. I was just thinking about getting my rocks off. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about I didn't know anything about a boy or a girl. I just thought, like, do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever to get the pleasure. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I was all alone and I was sneaking to do it anyway.
Now, NatureBoy, Legion, he claims that his brother Leo was constantly, playing the fifth against him. His brother Leo never really truly had his back. He would constantly tell on him if he did things wrong. Maybe, this is my synopsis, I don't know if it's true, so I'm gonna say allegedly. Being that Leo was lighter skinned, colorism probably took in effect in their circumstances. They probably treated Leo better because of the color of his skin, because he was of a lighter complexion. And don't try to act like that doesn't happen in our community, because it does. We have privilege in our community based on skin tone, according to some people and their mindsets. Now, as a child, he constantly got into trouble. Now, it was just petty theft, so he never committed any dangerous crime. So that's why I stated he was just put into jail. However, NatureBoy will always reference that he went to prison, but that's not true. Prison is different than jail. Also, you'll notice in the video where he talks about his background, he jumps from topic to topic and he kind of talks in coded language. So he jumps into his birth chart, or half is his birth chart. So since he wants to get into his birth chart, let's talk about it. So his sun is in Taurus, which I previously told you. If your sun is in Taurus, that means your birthday is in the Taurus time. It pretty much means you are a leader. You are not passive at all. You're gonna stand up for yourself. You are the protector and the provider. You will do what you can in order to live another day. You are a survivor. With his moon sign, it is in Leo. And I think that kind of explains a lot, because remember, your moon is what people perceive you. If they don't know you, they automatically think you're this actual zodiac sign. So his moon is in Leo. And if we know anything about Leos, they're very attractive and romantic and aggressive intimately. And I think that hits it on the nail. We're NatureBoy. And then his Saturn is in Libra. And if you know anything about Libra men, they're weasels. Yes, I said it and you can't deny it. But no. So Libra men, just a synopsis of them. They are the peacemakers. They are very attractive. Most Libras are very attractive, but they don't like to, choose a side. One minute they agree, next minute they don't. They don't want to be in the middle, so they'll just agree. They try to bring people together. They try to unite people within a community. That he is definitely his birth chart to a T.
Mercury, Taurus, 7th house. Venus, Pisces in the 4th house. What's next? Mars is in Libra in the 11th house, and then there's Saturn. Saturn is in Libra in the 11th house. And then there's Jupiter, which is in Scorpio in the 12th house. Yeah. So that's my astrological credential.
But yeah, let's continue. So with him getting into trouble multiple times in New Jersey, he found his sister. So he has a brother, Leo, and then he also has a sister that lives in Augusta, Georgia. So he moves down there, but then he gets involved with a female. I'm not gonna say he falls in love, but he gets involved with a female and he moves to Atlanta, Georgia. And he even admits that he was just living off of her. And when she was done, she kicked him out of the house. So he was truly homeless. He had no money. He had no skills in a way. So he had to figure out, how could he live another day? What could he possibly do in order so he could feed himself? Because he had no one in Atlanta. So for a while, he started to sleep in his car until he was given the opportunity to make money. And this opportunity was to be a stripper. And so with stripping led into him being a male escort. And he does confess to this in the video. He sold his body for money so that he could live. And he claims that he was not gay, he was never attracted, or he never could fall in love with a man, but that he was sexually fluid. And essentially he said that he would sleep with a man or a woman just as long as he got money in return. I think it goes back to living in Babylon in a way. When you live in Babylon, you need capitalism to survive. But once you get out of Babylon, you only have nature, so you don't have to sell your body to live another day. But in Babylon, he had to sleep with men and women to live, to survive, to eat. He also states that he was attracted to transsexuals. If he had to be attracted to a man, the man would have to look like a woman. They had to be very sensual. And he was highly attracted to transsexuals. Now, one day he said that he began to dream this very odd dream, that he died 3 times. And it was like a lucid dream, like he could feel it essentially, that he had truly died 3 times. And at that moment, he realized that he needed to teach the knowledge of nature, of getting to his higher self. And that what begins his career as NatureBoy, by him having these dreams and realizing that he needed to put away this toxic energy, this toxic lifestyle, and start teaching the knowledge, or looking up the knowledge on the internet and then telling people about it. But either way, he begins teaching the knowledge through Facebook Live, through Instagram Live, through YouTube, and to where he gets a following of 84,000 people. He gets people, young people, to actually live and sell everything in order to get to move to these third world countries and live off of nature. All right, I hope you like part 2 of learning about NatureBoy. Part 3, we're gonna get into the members and how NatureBoy seemingly cuts these people off, leaves them destitute, leaves them broke, leaves them single parents, coming and returning back to Babylon, and him deciding, like an episode of Survivor, who gets kicked off the island, who gets to return. And we're gonna get into NatureBoy's love life and how this one woman that's a part of Carbonation, he seemingly cannot let go. But the ending is not so sweet. So get ready for part 3. I hope you all like part 2. Let me know down below if I missed anything about NatureBoy. In a way, I hope I covered it all. I hope I truly got into essentially his background story. Essentially, he had a horrible childhood. People mistreated him. Now he's ready to repay with knowledge of his higher self. However, his higher self still has money and capitalism involved. So is it truly getting back to nature? Get ready for part 3. Like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.